And I'm looking down this hill and I'm like, look, there's a buck laying down there. Oh, no, ain't a buck. I said, man, that's a buck. Come here and look. I don't see it, Adam. So I start down this hill and I walk down about 25 yards and I'm just kind of looking at this buck behind a tree. And I mean, this tree is just massive. And I watch him move his head around. Keep in mind, there's a poison ivy that he had been beaten on up on top of the hill. I mean, if you go up the hill and everything, it's a nice 5-10 minute walk, but for a deer, you can make it in no time.
Mhm.
And I'm like, that deer's alive. So I hurry back up the hill to my Polaris, my big quad, and my crossbow sitting on there. Well, my wife had got me that crossbow Christmas of 23 because I'd done something to my elbow and I couldn't pull my compound back. I couldn't hold it. I ended up hitting a doe in the shoulder. Didn't get any real penetration, but we looked for, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours that night. So I told him, I said, man, I'm going to go down there and I'm going to shoot that buck. He said, no, you're not. He goes, I don't see it. I said, I'm telling you, it's behind this big tree. And there's a lot of trees that have fell over from wind and stuff, and big root balls are 6 feet in the air. So I make my way down this path, and I'm trying to keep from crunching limbs and trying to stay behind these trees. And I get about 300 yards down from where we started on this hill. And I start making my way over, and I get to about 20 yards from it. And I'm sitting down because I'm cocking my crossbow and I'm getting a bolt in there. And, I want to make sure that, if this deer's dead, I'm trying to figure out, what's going on.
Mhm.
And, every once in a while, he'd kind of flip his head because the wind was blowing towards him. And, I'm like, okay, he's all right, because I'm not seeing any injuries on him. And I, get sighted in on him and I'm sitting there and I whistle, nothing. I'm like, man, stand up. Because I feel bad shooting an animal laying down. You know what I mean? I'm like, stand up. He's tossing his head around and he turns and looks at me. And when he turns and looks at me, I thought, oh, he's done. He's getting ready to bolt.
Mhm.
Well, I went ahead and sent it. And when I sent it, he stood up and he's standing behind a tree. And I'm like, I know I got him. And he's looking to the north. Well, he turns around from the north and he comes up and then he crosses over on my side 10 yards from me.
Mm.
And we're eye to eye at this point. He's looking right at me and I'm like, oh man. So I go ahead and I get the crossbow cocked up and I load another bolt in there and I let one shoot. Well, this one hit the shoulder on the other side. I've actually got pictures of this whole hunt. I've got a picture of that bolt in him. And he kind of wanders off and he falls down. And I mean, to me, man, it seemed like it took forever in my mind. It was over in a minute, but he's laying down and he's just kind of thrashing. And I'm like, all right, he's going to lay there and die. So I make my way over to where I first shot him and the arrow is broken half and, the broadhead and the arrow. And I'm like, man, okay. Just a bunch of blood laying there. And then you can see where he had went. You could trail him. So I sneak over and I'm kind of on the upwind side of him. And I've shot, I've got shot him twice now. And he gets up and he starts to wander off. And what he did, he just falls over and goes down this little draw. And there's like a little flat spot. And I literally got him on video taking his last breath.
Mm.
And I'm texting James pictures in real time as this is happening. Um, the owner is standing above me and like he's hollering, is he dead? Is he dead? And I'm texting him. And, so we have this whole hunt thread going through the hunters, and I'm texting that, sending pictures as all this is happening. Um, and it was just the most surreal moment because, I mean, I've got tons of pictures with him.
Mhm.
Never had any sightings of him while I was out there, but just tons of pictures. Um, and to take, a big buck like that way, I mean,